what is the future of Algorand governance? Is there really a point to it, or is it basically pointless now? We're going to talk about Algorand governance, the recent vote, and what it means for the future of Algorand on today's Frugal VC. What's up, guys? Frugal VC. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about Algorand governance and the recent vote that just happened. A lot of surprises there. I think some people in the Algorand community and even in Algorand leadership are all pretty surprised about this vote. I'm pretty surprised too, and we're going to dig into the details and what that means for governance. We're going to look at the data, and we're going to look at some reactions, including from the CEO of the foundation herself. Before we do that, I would love it if you give a like and subscribe to the channel so you can see all our crypto experiments. And yes, I do the experiments and I don't need anybody's permission for how much money I'm going to put into them. But anyway, enough about that. Like the channel and hit that little bell notification so you can see all our crypto content. We do the experiments, we try things out just to see how they work. And so we can let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't sugarcoat it. I'll tell you that much right now. But let's get into this because I think this is super interesting. I'm going to share my screen. We just got done on June 15th with period 3 voting session 1. And there were 2 different measures. So I'm going to start with the last one first because this one didn't surprise me. This was basically just approving the next stage of the XGov. It spells out in more detail how that works. Basically, community members are going to be able to put forth proposals for the Algorand ecosystem, and the XGovs are going to decide which ones go forward for a vote. So pretty simple. People really liked it. Tiny 98.69% to 1.31%. That's the most lopsided vote I think we've had yet, from what I recall. You'd never see that in politics except for, this would be like the third party candidate maybe. But then going back to, this is the one that surprised me. So this was including DeFi participants in governance. So the whole idea was that governance is locking up all this Algorand that could be used in the Algorand ecosystem. As you know, I didn't participate in this round of governance, and I probably am not going to anymore because there's so many different things you can do with your Algorand where you can grow, you can get great returns. There's games coming out. Cosmic Champs is releasing their first round of NFTs soon. And this is good for this ecosystem. This is good to have money instead of locking up in this this governance thing and earning a tiny little percentage. You can actually put it in DeFi projects like Yieldy, TinyMan, Algo Stake, Algo Fund. All, by the way, I have videos on all of them, so go check them out if you want to learn more about them. I'll be doing an update on a bunch of them soon, so keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, now there's a couple of reasons why this might have happened. I'm very, very surprised about this vote because when the foundation announced this, there was actually quite a bit of excitement. And I was excited about it. I thought this was a great idea. I usually don't say how I feel about the upcoming vote, but this one just seemed like a no-brainer. So this is why I was so surprised that it was 66 to 33. Still considered a landslide in terms of, if you're thinking about it in political terms. That's a pretty big victory. One of the reasons I think this happened, possibly a couple reasons actually, but one is the fact that it was going to give double voting power to DeFi participants. Now, I would have been happy with regular power. Just why not just make it regular power? Why make it double? That I didn't understand. Now, what's interesting is some people have talked about how it would be the actual platforms that would be voting. This make it sound like this is to DeFi participants. So I think that was incorrect. I think some people misinterpreted that. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But if you read this, it says power of DeFi participants. So it would have been up to the platforms to kind of dole that out and make it so when you participate, you would have that vote. I think that made a lot of sense. I don't know if you need a double. I thought that maybe was reaching for the fence a little bit. That might have been part of the reason. The other one is I think we're taken over by whales. I'm going to show you what I mean in just a second. And this would have only been through the end of 2020, then it would have reverted back to normal power, but didn't do so well. Like I said, 66 to 33, that is quite the difference. And let's break down some of the data from the vote. This is from Algorand Stats. I love this platform. They do really good stuff. Let's look at period 3 here. it's still active for 9 more days before the period is done. Governors have dropped to 35,606. And by the way, I dug into this. This is the lowest number of governors participation that we've had yet. None of the other ones I can show you here. Period 2 ended with 37,000, and period 1 ended with 50,000. But as you can see, we lost 20,000, almost 21,000 governors in the first period. So that means it started over 70. We lost 29,000 in the second one. This is when, remember, a lot of DeFi projects started coming out in the end of the fourth quarter. And then we only lost 23,000 this time. Now, what does that tell you? That it wasn't, because this was the lowest number of governors to finish. We're not even done yet. People just aren't participating in governance. I can see why, because there's so much better stuff you can do. Now, I've told you that I think if you want a really safe thing to do with your Algorand, this is a good one. The risk is almost non-existent, other than you have to be careful not to exceed your governance. And I want to pay attention to something, because the last couple times we had a huge dip when the voting ended, and that was all people who just didn't vote. That happens a lot. People forget about it. They just don't vote. And I even saw someone post about it today where they said they forgot. They set their alarm for the 15th. They're like a reminder for the 15th. Definitely should have said that for the beginning of the period and not the end. Because even the 15th, it might have been, it's Singapore time. So, but you can see the governors dropped off. It was still pretty significant. And that kind of tells you that there's a lot of whales that are still in it. A lot of the people that dropped off didn't have a lot of algo in it. This is interesting because we have, like I said, we have the fewest number of governors still participating. However, this is the most number, this is the highest number of Algorand. This is 3.5 billion. Period 2, we ended with 2.8. And period 1 was only 1.7. So that tells you something. There is some big whales in Algorand who are voting. Some of these might be the exchanges. There's been talk about that. This is what we're dealing with. So stuff is really important stuff to keep in mind. What do I think this means for the future of Algorand governance? I think you're going to see those numbers continuing to drop. Without the DeFi, I think they really needed the DeFi participation to keep the governance high. The fact that nobody is doing it, I think is problematic. So what are we going to see? We're going to see this be something that whales do, basically, where they're going to dominate the governance even more, and they're going to be calling the shots. Because I got to tell you, from my perspective, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I was thinking, why would I participate in governance? There's no benefit. By the way, before I do that, I want to share something else. I'm not the only one who's not so happy. Miss Stacy Warden herself, who, as this post explains to us, is the Algorand Foundation CEO. She was not wild about this measure either. So someone I talked about this on my live stream, so if you've seen that already, I apologize. They said, Algorand sitting in wallets showing no utility at all leads to lower prices. If only there was a foundation proposal to do something about this. And Stacy Algo, this is Stacy Warden, she tweeted, #if only. Yeah, not happy about it either. And I don't blame her. They were pretty excited. She was on the call. I live streamed that one. So you guys saw that on my channel. You can actually go back and watch it too. We kind of all watched it together. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I think she understands that too. And this is what they talked about. The fact is, you want more people. You want more people participating in your ecosystem, and you can't if they lock up all their algo, or even a lot of their algo. Like I said, I really don't understand the vote, other than maybe people reacted to the double power. I can kind of understand that, but at the same time, it's like, I think it would have given more voice to regular folks. I think retailers are the ones doing the DeFi stuff. I could be wrong about that. That's just my impression. I don't have any evidence for that, so I don't want to state that definitively, but I think that's a good chance. Anyway, guys, I want to hear what you had to say. So let me know in the comments how you feel about the vote, how you feel about especially the DeFi protocol. I thought it was a good measure, but maybe you disagree. What am I missing? Let me know in the comments, as always. And hey, guys, stay safe out there, do your research, and you know what? Check multiple sources. And as always, I'll see you in the future.